Judge Judy held a thin folder, unopened. A stack of photos sat on the bench, a broken window, a dented section of drywall. In the gallery, a man sat alone in the back row, cap in his lap, completely still. "Before either of you says a word," she said, not looking up, "the man in the back row, is he a witness or is he the reason we're here?" Diane Coloulston had managed rental properties for 11 years. She'd never lost a security deposit case. Today, she wasn't worried. She had photos, a lease, and a number. "Your Honor, $3,800 in damage," Coloulston said. "A broken window, a hole punched through drywall, a door torn off its hinges. It's documented. It's not in dispute." "Mr. Reyes, is this your unit?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Do you dispute the damage happened?" "No." "I did offer to pay for the window," Reyes said, sliding a folded receipt across the table. "Cash, the week it happened. She said keep it, she'd just take it from the deposit." Coloulston glanced at it without picking it up. "That's not a defense, that's an invoice." "Then, respectfully," she said, "I'm not sure what we're discussing." "Neither was I 90 seconds ago." Judge Judy turned a page, slower now. "Miss Coloulston, your notes say the tenant reported an incident and asked for a repair. You didn't ask what kind of incident?" "I don't ask my tenants for a narrative. I ask them to pay for what they break." "Fair enough," Judge Judy said. "Mr. Reyes, how long have you lived in this unit?" 3 years. No complaints before this." 3 years, no complaints, and a $3,800 outburst on a random Tuesday? Judge Judy turned a page. "That's not nothing." "Mr. Reyes, your application lists no employer. Under references, a VA social worker. Under emergency contact, the same name." Reyes didn't move. In the gallery, the man in the back row sat up slightly. "This wasn't in your complaint, Miss Coloulston. Did anyone actually read this file before today?" Before Daniel Reyes says a single word about that night, hit subscribe, because what he says next puts someone else on trial, not him. "Mr. Reyes," the Judge Judy said, "what happened in that apartment?" "I don't fully remember," he said. "Quiet, steady but slow. I have episodes from my last deployment. I woke up and the window was already broken. My knuckles were bleeding and I didn't know why until the next morning." "Did you tell your landlord any of that?" "No, I didn't want a property manager knowing more about me than my own family does." Judge Judy turned to Coloulston. "Did it occur to you to ask why a tenant with no complaints in 3 years suddenly put a hole in a wall overnight?" "I have investors asking me about vacancy costs every month. I saw damage, I billed for damage. That's the job." "That's the first true thing you've said since you sat down." The man in the back row stood, slowly, holding a folded piece of paper. "Sir, you've been sitting there since before this case was called. Do you have something for the court?" "I'm his case manager," the man said, walking forward, his voice controlled. "I didn't know he'd file. He didn't tell me either. I have his discharge paperwork and his treatment file if the court wants to see why he didn't say anything." "Bring it up." Judge Judy read in silence for a long moment. Reyes stared at the floor. Coloulston crossed her arms, jaw tight. She closed the folder. "Miss Coloulston, this file confirms a documented service-related condition and an active treatment plan. None of that made it into your complaints because none of it ever made it into a conversation." "He should have told me," Coloulston said. "He told his case manager. He told his doctor. He didn't owe that story to the person collecting his rent. You owed him the decency to ask before you billed him like a stranger who kicked a hole in your wall for fun." Judgment for the defendant, beyond the deposit already withheld. This was a medical event, not malice, and this court treats those differently. You didn't lose this case because you're cruel, Miss Coloulston. You lost it because you only ever asked how much, never why. Coloulston gathered her folder without a word. Reyes exhaled for the first time since he'd sat down. Coloulston's rental listings now include a mandatory tenant support disclosure form. Reyes never filed for the remaining deposit. He said the ruling already said everything he needed it to. Was Coloulston wrong for never asking what happened, or was Reyes wrong for letting it get this far before anyone found out? You decide. Subscribe. Next week, a woman swears she's never met the man suing her. The security footage says otherwise.